thousands.
Whatever the actual number is of how many auditions you go on to a job you actually get. So I can name drop with this. We need golden girls, pants, and well, I was in LA being tried. Well, I went out to dance. I'm a dancer, and I was dancing. So it wasn't until I spent the summer with my favorite Aunt Rue Blanche, who said to me, Mimi, you're going to be an actress. So she wasn't going to let me just dance. She was going to push me into acting. And I got an audition for this crazy movie. And I thought, oh boy, I read the script and I thought, it really didn't look like much on the page. If you read it, it doesn't really look like much. And I scared the casting director. So I climbed over her desk and I got in her face and started flirting. So we were just talking about this with fans. If you could do that's not scary. If it's not going to work. If you've got to do it a different way. And I got in her face and it's just, ooh, I just can't wait to kill. And so I was just really camp. And I get another call back, and I get another call back, and then finally I said, I said, oh my God. I turned into a monster and killed everyone. And she said, yes, but Mimi is a lead role. And you're going to do it. You're going to take it. So she pushed me into it. She made me do it. And thank God I did.
Yeah.
Thank God I did.
You did three of them.
I did 3 of them. Now, I know your true story. We'll see if we're going to tell them the truth, if we're going to try to gloss over it.
Oh, well, the truth is, my manager called me and said, they want you for this movie to go read. And I said, no, I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go. Because I thought they're going to say, you're too old for it. You're too young. You're too this. You're too that. But I thought they were going to definitely say, you're not a teenager. So he kept calling me, and I kept saying no. And then finally, they said, no, they really want to see you. They want to see you because they want to give you the role. And I go, okay, I'll go. So I went down there, and they said, oh, you've got the role, which is the first time I've ever had that happen. Because she was saying, it's like you go on thousands of auditions, and you're either too old, too young, too short, too tall. It's crazy.
But you had just been dancing on the tombstone.
I had been dancing on a tombstone in Return of the Living Dead, naked. So, yeah.
And I had just done the Stray Cat video.
That's right.
And I wouldn't have gotten the role if it weren't for the writer. The writer wanted me because he saw the Stray Cat video. This was like in 17. He wanted a dancer. But I still had to audition like the rest of those shows. The only one who did not have to audition was Miss Quigley.
Oh, thank God.
And they said to me, we're putting an offer out to Linnea Quigley. You did not have to audition. That was
an actor. Told me that.
You already had that job.
That's amazing.
You had that job. And none of us were teenagers.
No, none of us were.
The only one that was really underage was Allison Bear. She was under 20.
Right, that's right. And Philip was the next one, right? I think he was pretty young. Because they were acting young. Like when we were, like just goofing off and stuff like that. Yeah, I think so.
So the film was shot in 4 weeks. Is that a typical film schedule?
When you have a wedding.
When you have a wedding, that's a long shoot.
Yeah. I thought it was 21 days or 23 days. Maybe that's just how many days I was on.
Probably.
I think it was over 13 days. There was,
the makeup took the longest.
There was less than no money.
Yeah.
So under SAG minimum, it was called affirmative action. And that's less than you need.
And then they had to have like an Asian person in it. They had to have a black person in it. They had to have like the different nationalities. That's why everybody's so different. And they get like a discount. Did you know that? Yeah. They get a discount. And then if you have a handicapped person in it, then you get another discount. Yeah.
Let's all make a movie.
Yeah, let's make a movie. Who's handicapped?
Everybody in this room. Let's give somebody tick every ball.
Exactly. Yeah, really. We can do it for dollars. Dollars. Yeah. Yeah.
So you guys shot in the van. Talk about that. Was a lot of set design needed, or just
Besides the smoke machines that were toxic and a lot of smoke, and I don't think a lot of set design was needed in that house. It was pretty spooky. It was like just very atmospheric, and I would have loved to own that house. That would have been my house. But it was in a horrible area. It was like in downtown LA where the gangs were. So we had security and everything like that. What do you remember about the house?
We also had some of the cast members going out scaring the gang members.
Yes.
And you're not supposed to. So now there are laws about going out in public in special effects like that.
That's
I know that when Phil Tanzini's arm had been chopped off in the coffin, he drove through a Burger King. And he's spewing blood. And his arm is missing. So, and then the other story, I think it was Hal, who went out in his makeup. He claims he forgot, but I don't believe that. And there was like a burrito stand, like a cart set up. And he went out and was surrounded with these gang members early in the morning. They took one look at Hal and they ran. These scattered like cockroaches.
That is so funny.
But
He's a tough guy.
Yes, I know. So Hull House was actually the most beautiful part of old Hollywood. In the very, very beginning, that part of town is where Charlie Chaplin had his studios, and a lot of the old movie stars were there. So the house itself was probably gorgeous, way back in the day. By the time we shot there, I don't think they did all the set, but it really looked like that. So it was a mansion that was falling to pieces. And it was the perfect place because the house itself was pretty creepy.
It was, yeah.
We're filming all night in crazy monster makeup. So hopefully we scared the ghosts more than they scared us.
Yes, we did. We scared them away.
on topic of makeup, talk about the process.
Oh, it was so fun. I just want to do it again. Let's just go do it right now. So,
how many hours?
It was 6 to get on the basic stuff. When they did the burn makeup, half my body was slime, that was 9. But in Demons 2, the snake makeup was 27 and a half hours.
That's horrible. That's like, you shouldn't even. Would you have done it again if you?
And no one ever, it'll never happen.
No.
Because no one's ever going to do practical effects the way that we did.
That's true.
Or unless somebody's willing to sit for 27 hours so we can torture. It's torture, I'm not going to lie to you, it's not fun. None of it's fun. So they glued prosthetics to our faces. So we got big rubber things glued to our faces. And then he had Velcro on the ends of it. And I think one of the scariest scenes in the movie is when we see her for the first time. So her head's back like this, and she drops her chin. And because these pull like not knowing my hair too tight, we've got our faces pulled, which makes it even more terrifying.
Yeah, because your mouth gets big.
Yeah, and your face is sticking out because it's like this. But you want to talk about uncomfortable. Oh my It was miserable. So all of the demonic acting you see us doing, it's real.
Yeah, we were very irritated.
They prop us up somewhere all night. Just prop us up.
Yeah.
Can't sit down
Nope.
or wait till you're dressed. So early in the morning, they do something like put me on roller skates and torture
And you can't
me.
skate.
Well, that's why it's scary. If I could skate, I'd be like this.
Yeah.
But I'm like this.
Yeah.
And then they just dub the voice. You know, everyone always asks me about the Jamie voice. And it was a little Asian man.
Really?
I don't remember that. You don't remember that?
I don't remember that. Well, from all the makeup things, I'm like, my memory loss. Yeah.
We're probably still blowing blue smoke out of our nose.
Yes. In the smoke machine.
I remember you guys talking about that. It was something the players stopped using them.
Yeah, they banned it. After we breathed like 13 days of it.
Yeah, with all the rock videos.
With all the rock videos that they did.
Yet another drug we were doing.
Yes. We didn't know they were drugs at the time.
Well, speaking of practical effects, the lipsticks.
Oh, yeah.
What about how that was set up?
That was set up to shoot. They did a cast on my breast. Then they,
And she ends up marrying him.
wouldn't you if somebody did that to you? He was flirty.
Could not resist you.
But now I'm divorced. But they like strapped my breast down after they made the mold, and they put the silicone mold on me, and then they painted it. So, and they made a slit in it, so I had to like put the lipstick, find the slit, and get it through. It was like crazy, but it worked. It made
Were
sense.
you at that time in Seattle when in the drag show they reenacted it?
No, I didn't see that. And this is that.
Big jealous. Big jealous.
Oh.
They did a burlesque show, and two guys came as us in possession of him. And he had a huge fake plastic chest, and he reenacted the lipsticks.
Oh my god, I would love to see that.
Yeah.
Something for you to do.
But the night is young.
The night is young.
So when you talk about being a dancer, you choreographed the dance. Talk about coming up with that.
Well, when you're trained as a dancer and you get to Hollywood and you're only allowed to do a minute. I mean, if any of you, some of you have come up with other photos of different dance movies on Hollywood, art videos or whatever. The dancers are the first thing you end up on the cutting room floor. And we work the hardest. Much, much harder than the actors do. Unless they're in possession, like we were, because we were dancing and in workout. So you never really get to do what you were trained to do. You don't get to go crazy, because you're going to end up having just a couple of seconds in a movie. And I needed to get my yayas. So I wanted to really, really go nuts. And I don't know if any of you are old enough to remember a movie called Flashdance. But I got to Hollywood right after Flashdance.
Oh man.
And Maureen Jahan was a dance judge. Phenomenal job. And I had that in my mind. And I actually said to them, well, I want to do something where I get doused with water. And I wanted to do a crazy chair dance. And the director said, oh, that looks too much like Flashdance. Again, so you're going to get an enormous blockbuster success. We don't want to look anything like that. Okay? So it was sort of an adaptation. And the only people ask me about role models of this, and it was Tim Curry and Rocky Horror.
Oh yeah.
Because what he did no one had ever done that. And I guarantee, I've never spoken to any of the cats, but I guarantee they also thought, oh, nobody's going to see this. I'll bet you anything. They all thought, nobody's going to see this, so let's just go crazy. And that's what we did, because Dana's was super low budget. We thought, well, nobody's going to see this. I can do whatever I want. And that's exactly what I did. And I blocked it, I choreographed it in a little tiny apartment in West Hollywood. So I'm like this, barely. I picked the Bauhaus song. My best friend at the time was a punk rocker. I was a pretend punk rocker. We used to all spray our hair pink and green. We thought we were just bomb diggity. And she was a little bit more of the real deal. And she said, this Bauhaus, you have to get this. Well, you don't get songs like that. I mean, you don't go, that would be like, because it has nothing to do with a band. You've got to go to Sony or RCA or Universal, whoever owns it. And they're not going to give that song. It's an iconic song. And I wrote a handwritten letter and tell how long ago this was, before email, and I begged, and I said, listen, we're doing it, we have to have, it's the perfect song, it's gotta be. And they wrote me back and said yes. It was just incredible. It was a miracle.
That's a whole bunch of it.
Probably a lot of it,
yes.
I never thought of that.
Yeah.
I bet it did.
Because you know they didn't get it for free.
Well, I'm sure they did, but I'm sure they didn't pay much either.
No, no.
So, yeah, I really knew so long ago. You're talking about you had to be brought in to practice.
Yes, I did. That's when I'm divorced. Eye gouging. Like, Steve was like, just really into his effects, and he didn't think I could eye gouge very well. I gouged his husband. But they had me, like, practicing on dummy, and it was a condom, and then inside the condom were cherry tomatoes and fake blood. And, I practiced and practiced. I wasn't very good at it. And in fact, on the set, I wasn't very good on it. So he took over and, it's spam. And so he took over, and it's his hands you see actually gouging me on. So, like, on my resume, I can't put eye gouging.
I'm sure that was him calling.
Yeah, really. He's like, what are you talking about me for?
Amelia, you touched on it earlier, some good shots. Talk about
I had nothing to do with that. I mean, that was just somebody else's genius. Because I'm on roller skates in a hoop skirt. I've been up all night and exhausted. And I was afraid that the wheels were going to catch in the netting. So, and if they had, I would have walked out. I would have fallen flat on my face.
Yeah.
So he pushed me, and I'm doing this, and then they dubbed the voice, and it's terrifying. It's just terrifying. It's such an amazing effect, and it's great encouragement for all new and low-budget horror movie makers and movie makers in general. That some of the things that they sound just ridiculous. Like, you've got to be kidding me, and they look the best. One of the scenes, I've got smoke coming out of my dress, so it's wafting out of my wrists, and there's smoke. Steve put tubes through the dress, and he's off camera smoking cigarettes and blowing smoke into the.
That was great.
It was brilliant. I mean, you see that in the Demons too. They tied my tail with dental floss. So
you can see it then.
You couldn't see it. He's off camera whipping the dental floss around in the snake scene. And it looks amazing. But it was real film. Somebody just came through when we were talking about this. They said, if it had been done today, where you see every crack and crevice and freckle and everything you wish you don't want to see,
No.
it would probably wouldn't work. Because real film has that kind of misty, romantic, glossy, those.
Yeah.
It has a quality to it that looks more like the old movie stars.
Yeah.
And it made the whole house look even creepy. It made everything look creepy. But some of the scenes that looked the best were just innovation or desperation. Because there was
Like
no
the mirror
money.
scene, and they have us all look in the mirror.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
step in. That was the longest shot. It took forever to set up.
Speaking of film, what was it like working with
He was a smart ass.
He was a smart ass. If you like the tape, you'd
Yeah.
say, chock full of art.
Yeah, he was funny. Everything he said was funny. He made a joke of it. But he was real kicked back and let us do what we wanted, basically.
He did. It was your ex-husband that was the biggest.
Oh, he was like,
He was the obsessive one.
yes, he was obsessive. And, they kept, trying to hurry him up in makeup, getting makeup done, and was like, wow. He'd get all upset and, this is my stuff, it's gonna look great. Which it did look great.
It did look good.
Yeah.
When the film came out, did either of you ever go to the theater?
We had several screenings.
We had several screens.
So we went to midnight screenings.
Yes.
The first time it came out on, we had a red carpet release. This is a movie we thought we would watch. And it was Vance Chinese Theater, which is where all the superstars, this is where the Marilyn Monroes and Cary Grants and forever. This is the theater where they would go release their movies. So the first time I saw it was then.
Wow.
And even now, we'll do things together where we'll have a midnight screening or we'll screen a movie. Like they screened it at the Mahoney.
Yes. With Joe Bob.
Yeah.
That was fun. Which will air, we don't know when.
Someday.
Someday. And I don't know if it was the first time I saw it, but I went to the drive-in because I love drive-ins to see it, and I forgot the first scene in the movie that you see me is my ass. And I'm like, oh my God, it's me. And, because the camera was back, I didn't know they got in that close, and I'm just like, whoa.
But it looks good, Linnea. And now that you have, how many dogs do you have?
14.
Well, you know how they greet each other. So.
Yeah, exactly.
With a dog, that's the first thing another dog's going to see. They're much more interested in that view than
Let's take their ass. Yeah, that's true.
What are your opinions you guys talk about this possibly could have been a film that Nolan himself? So it seems to stay really relevant and finding an audience each generation. Why do you think that is?
Let's ask them. Because I have no idea.
I don't know either.
I do know that I discovered during COVID, I spent the year in Dallas, and I flew up here 5 or 6 times. So that we did the Mahoney, I think I did it twice.
That's right.
And Pennsylvania cons, there were always things to do up there. I love it up here. And what was it called?
Why is it so?
Oh, okay. Well, I discovered in Texas that I had a lot of Hispanic fans. And I was amazed at all the Hispanic fans. And then I found out that Hispanic moms use me to threaten their kids. So they use me to try to make their children do things. And I said, with that poster, put it in the bathroom and say, you don't brush your teeth. This is what's But it just kept happening. and I made friends with a couple of guys who did a beautiful podcast out of Las Vegas. And I went to their house and had dinner with their wives and their mother and sitting at their dinner table. None of them can look at me. The guys can't even look at me. I can't eat and look at me. And they said, well, our whole lives, our mother would say, Angela's going to get you. Angela's going to get you. Angela's in the house. And I said, geez, isn't that funny? You manifested it because here I am in your house. They did it. It came true.
That's weird.
But I don't know. I mean, one of the theories is that back then, at least, you went to high school with at least one, if not every member of the cast. That every member of the cast reminds you of somebody that you went to high school with. And maybe that's still true because there's a number of people that you would like to kill in creative ways. And we got to kill them for it.
Yeah, that's true. It's Clifford's falling asleep. No, he's not.
What do you think? I mean, why?
Why is this? I think because it's a fun story. I think you're right. It reminds you of different people in high school that you went to school with. And it's like, you're so bad. You know, you're like the guy. You know, you have the good.
But you're not exactly Snow White. Honey.
No, I'm not. That's true. So we're both bad, and we kind of break the mold. And I think everybody would like to have a party like that someday. Yeah, I think everybody would love to have a Halloween party like that. Yes. Invoke some demons. Why not?
So I did an interview with Kevin once, and he said that there were 2 other alternate stories.
Halloween party was one of them.
And I think
Demon Book.
Demon Boogie, that's it. I know it was a boogie.
So you think the right choice was made?
Yes.
Well, unless, it was a remake of Xana did.
It almost was.
Unless
You
you're
roller
so
skates.
everybody got roller skates. I don't think you don't know that I'm on roller skates. If we were all in a roller rink, we could totally do it.
I think, wasn't it the second AD or something like that was on skates all the time? Do you remember that? I remember something like that. It was skating around.
Yeah, no, Halloween had just come out. And so they wanted Halloween party. There's some posters going around. Every now and then I'll sign one. They're from Germany.
Yeah.
And they've got lights in them.
Right.
Yeah. But there was a problem with getting the rights because it would have interfered with Halloween. So that movie had just come out.
So when you were part of 2 and 3, what were some of the major differences of working on the sequels as compared to the original?
Well, part 2, being in that trench, glued to that teeter-totter for 27 and a half hours, is probably I'm more proud of that scene than anything because I don't look cute. I can't even recognize myself. I look like Kermit the Frog. Has anybody seen the Demons 2? You know what I'm talking about. And I got to work on Demons 2 with Brian Trenchard Smith, who is brilliant. He's brilliant. And the cast of Demons 2, good. There's a lot of great actors. And then Demons 3 we shot in the woods outside of Montreal in autumn. We were up all night filming out in the woods. It was so beautiful. It's not the same house, obviously. So a lot of people complain it's not the real whole house.
Basically.
Well, the fans don't like
Okay.
it because it's obviously not whole house.
Okay.
And I enjoyed all 3 movies for different reasons. Part 1, I like the cast.
Yeah.
Obviously. But I liked all of them, and now that Blu-ray, we've got Blu-rays coming out. I think it's 2 and 3. So being that I have a real job, I don't think I'm ever going to put that gun scene down. Once that comes out on Blu-ray, oh my gosh.
Why on Blu-ray?
Because it's going to get a new life.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
See,
That's
streaming straight to video, and nobody saw it. Nobody saw it. And now they're going to see it.
Yeah, you're right.
And I get a little too friendly with the loaded gun.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Amelia. Scandalous. Your Aunt Rue.
Oh, rude.
Yeah, she was.
Speaking that she was a pistol.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So, Linnea, you have so many films about you. Where does this come from?
You mean that I like doing? It's up there with the first 3 that I like. You know, it's right by Return of the Living Dead and Sorry Babies in the Sun. It's like, I love more.
So, one of my notable games, Amelia, you had a run on Linnea. Could you talk about them in most ways so far?
Well, once again, I was a villain, which is always the best role. You never see me running around naked getting killed by anybody. And you never. But, so I was playing a villain that got brought in to get one of the leads off the show and accused David of having been a murderer in the past. The actor did not appreciate it, so it was not very nice to me. But I had a storyline that apparently was getting too much attention, and the boss's daughter was on the show. So I don't know if any of you remember this show. Her name was Cricket on the show. That's Bill Bell's job. And I get brought in to accuse somebody of murder and solve the murder, and do a whole bunch of wandering around, drinking martinis, talking to myself, spying on him, doing these ridiculous monologues. And I get the script one day, and I've been electrocuted in the tub.
Oh, jeez.
I'm dead. And she got my story.
Oh, no. She liked her part.
She got to solve the murder, and they got rid of me. You don't get to see me vibrating in the rubber bath. I know.
With your hair going.
Have you ever done anything like that?
No, I'm just going to like giving
I thought you did everything.
I thought so too. That was a good. Oh my God. Double entendre.
Now, you've made over 100, right?
Yes. Been killed almost every way, but in a bubble butt.
Here's the question. How do you sustain such a career when a lot of people go out and just simply don't like it?
I don't know. I think my love of horror and, back then, if you did nudity or if you did low-budget films, they said, oh, you're just not going to act anymore. But it worked for me, so,
So I saw on your IMDb page, you were in Tourist Trap.
Yes, but I think you can't see me because of the shadowing and stuff like that. It's real dark in there, but that's how I got my Screen Actors Guild card, was being a Tourist Trap for Charlie Day.
You remember working with
No, I don't. It was like 74, and I was so new to the game. It was like 74, 75, I don't remember. But I was so new to the game, and I didn't have any real makeup on, except like just real light skin or something like that I remember. But I remember Chuck Connors had his own trailer, and I thought that was just like, whoa. I want to be a star like that.
So one last question for me and we'll take it to the audience. Amelia, you have several books.
I've got 6 books out there, and I first got published by Random House in 2001, and it's apples and oranges. So a lot of the people who are horror movie fans are also animal lovers, and they're also very into spiritual things, paranormal, metaphysical, magical, and it's a funny thing now I look back and I realize in light of the beginnings, I was playing myself. You know? Pretty much I was playing myself. Because I'm bleeding assailant. I didn't start out evil. I said we shouldn't be doing this. I said this house is not haunted. This house is not haunted, it's possessed. And we shouldn't be doing it. So I was the voice of reason. And it was kind of a cautionary tale. And then I get being abusive.
Yeah, I kissed you. Yeah. Right to you.
You get it.
I'm sorry.
We'll be living like that.
I will be.
I know, brush your teeth.
I know. I did eat some.
Wear a mask.
Yeah.
So those books are all available on Amazon. You can find them all on Amazon. So the first one is called Straight from Horses Now. There's a children's novel. If any of you have if you've got nieces, granddaughters, that is about a 10-year-old lead character. I also illustrated it, so it's called Pennies and Other. And then the latest one that has just come out is called Whispers from the World. And I have a charity in Africa where I work with the children. I go into schools in rural Africa. And it's an anti-poaching campaign. So we dance as elephants, we draw elephants, we make up plays about protecting the animals. South Africa, I do it with a lions, and Zimbabwe, I do it with a pangolin. And all over the world, I work with big cats, among other things, show horses, all sorts of critters. So it's a soul-to-soul connection where you learn how to listen to them and understand what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what you need. We're not going to speak your language, so we need to learn how to speak their language. And Linnea's got an incredible dog rescue. So what's amazing also is that the two of us have charities, and we've gone into the world of loving animals.
And Linda Blair's with us too.
Yeah.
You know, so horror is for you.
Well, we are animals. We are wild.
We are animals.
I mean, you know, we play wild animals.
Yeah, we do. We do. So we can
Relate to it.
Alrighty, who has a question?
Ever think about having your own lipstick line?
Oh, I would love that. Revlon, come to me. Or Mac. I would like to. I think I could fit into Mac. You know, what could it be called? Suzanne's Revenge or something? Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay. I love that. Yeah.
I
It's a great
can't
idea.
believe we never got Colgate or
I
Crest.
know it. We
You know how funny
should.
that would be. I mean, once in a blue moon now you see a horror thing, and it's around Halloween. They'll make a horror thing commercial. But I mean, how funny would that be? Or I could do Banana Boat. This is what's going to happen.
yeah.
If you don't wear your sunscreen.
Yes. That would have been
Funny.
I can see you like, this is me before I used, you know, copper tone or whatever. And this is me if I don't use it. Oh my God. You're going to have like a little dog that goes down the thing. You're going to have like, you know, like a big scalding butt. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I will.
Get the skirt jacked out.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I did. For the first one, so you guys obviously, you have good chemistry. You enjoy, you still keep in touch with the rest of the cast. You guys have a good time working with them. To this day, you still keep in touch with them.
The cast came back together
Mhm.
because of the convention.
Yeah.
And I get a job and try to get everybody else in. And I still do that. So what brought us all back together was the cons. And what's amazing is that the original cast, we are now best of friends.
Yeah.
We're closer now than we ever were.
Mhm.
And it's amazing because that just doesn't happen. And every single member of that first cast is a friend of mine. And I've got all their numbers in my phone. I'll be sending, like, the pictures of, we've got Stooge here.
Yeah.
Those go straight to Hal Baines. And so I'm going to say this, and Scott's here again, he sends his love. And it's unheard of that everyone stays friends then.
It is. It's really hard. And one of them that played my boyfriend, Jay, well, my very short-lived boyfriend, he's a chiropractor now. It's crazy. After he got
He's only got ice cream.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. He's always got ice cream.
We've got time for one more.
Yeah, so you guys both said that you didn't think anyone would watch this movie. At what point did you realize you were wrong? And at what point did you realize just how wrong you were?
The conventions were the ones that alerted me to that it was popular.
It was a long time coming.
Yeah, it was.
And I had the opposite experience that I had made the horror movie and nobody would hire me.
Yeah.
Nobody would hire me.
Yeah.
Because in Hollywood, if you made a horror movie or if you wanted a soap opera, you're blacklisted, you had killed yourself.
Yeah.
You've hung yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And now look how different the climate is. Now you'll turn on Netflix, 90% of it is horror or supernatural, fantasy, everything is. On every network. And this isn't what we were up against. I only had this possession tape, or in the whiteface. And my agent said, I can't use this because you don't have anything that shows you in a different light. And even now, I don't even know if it's registered yet. We'll have fans come through with tattoos of us on their body, and then we'll go. It's pretty surreal. It's surreal. Because a lot of years went by, and it didn't seem to catch on immediately. There was a little fanfare, and there were things in Blockbuster Video, like the big standee with the lighter eyes. That all seemed to go away, or else we were just out of touch with it.
I think it went away for a while.
And then it came back
Well,
again.
it was always there, but it really made a resurgence, And those films then were called those kind of films. Nobody took them serious.
No.
In the acting profession, at least.
No. And I can look back at it in retrospect and say, in all honesty, what we were doing, this was harder than, Julia Roberts playing hairdresser. I adore her, but this, you know what I mean? What we were doing was hard.
Yeah.
And what they should have done is looked at us and went, well, they didn't do that, they didn't do anything.
Yeah, they should have.
But that's not how we were viewed. Everybody looked down on us, and I couldn't get hired. So it took its toll.
Thank you guys made this stronger. That's great.
Otherworldly.